Hi everyone, this is Nori from Study in Japan. Today we'll be talking about Japanese language schools. So we'll be covering topics such as what does one do at a Japanese language school? How long can you study at a Japanese language school for? What sort of courses are there? Hopefully by the end of this video you'll get a better understanding of what it might be like to study at a Japanese language school. Let's go! So as the name suggests, a Japanese language school is somewhere you go to learn about the Japanese language. Not only the Japanese language, but at some schools you're able to learn about the Japanese culture as well. There are over 600 Japanese language schools all over Japan, and although it does depend on the school, you can attend a Japanese language school from as short as 1 week to as long as 2 years. If you're starting off as a beginner, it normally takes around 2 years to reach an N2 level in the JLPT. The length of time that you can study at Japanese language school really depends on the type of visa that you come to Japan with. We've covered this in another video in the past, so please check it out if you want to know more. So what do you achieve at a Japanese language school, besides learning about the language? Well, Japanese language schools are highly recommended for people with all different types of goals in Japan. Whether you want to go into higher education, or if you want to go into full-time employment, or if you just want to learn the language so you can use it in your home country. Depending on the schools, the teaching structure changes a little bit, but in general, the classes are split into AM and PM classes, and you'll be put into one of those two. As far as the timetable goes, it's normally 4 hours a day from Monday to Friday, and then you get the weekends off, and of course all the public holidays the school will be off as well. And this is quite important for those of you who are looking to do part-time work whilst you study. I've talked about this in another video as well, but on a student visa, you're able to work 28 hours a week whilst you study, and then during long holidays, so summer holidays and winter holidays, you'll be able to work up to 40 hours a week. Not only are Japanese language schools great places to learn Japanese and pursue further careers in Japan, but also it's a great place to meet people from all around the world. So in some large schools, you can expect students of over 30 different nationalities to all be in one place. And of course, not all of these students will be able to speak the languages that you speak, so the common language might be Japanese, which is a good way to practice your Japanese outside of the lessons. Moving on to the lesson types that you can expect at these Japanese language schools. Broadly speaking, there are two different lesson types depending on the Japanese language school. One is the interactive type, and the second is the non-interactive type. The non-interactive type is where the teacher acts as a conductor and stands at the front of the lesson to go through all the teaching material, asking the students questions one at a time. And this is more common for schools that focus on the JLPT preparation. Alternatively, you have the interactive type where the teacher will give the students a task and then the students will discuss amongst themselves to find the answer. Schools that teach in this way focus more on the conversation part of the Japanese. So if you're interested in speaking Japanese fluently, they might be interested in this one rather than a non-interactive type. Most language schools tend to have cultural activities outside of the lesson, where you get to go on a field trip to famous Japanese tourist spots. And of course you get to learn about the culture through these field trips, but some schools do offer lessons about Japanese culture as well. So you can learn about the Japanese tea ceremonies, the Japanese calligraphy, karate, Japanese cooking, all sorts of cultural activities that you can pair with your language studies. So just to summarize, Japanese language schools are very diverse, so you can always find a course that fits your needs and also fits the duration that you want to come to Japan for. And with long-term programs, because you're able to work part-time whilst you study, you can really improve your Japanese at a fast pace. And not only would you receive support about the language learning itself, you can also receive support on your future as well. So they'll help you look for universities or vocational schools, and if you're looking to go into full-time employment, they'll help you with the whole job application process as well. How does all of that sound? Are you interested? If you have any questions or if you want to know more about the schools, then please let us know in the comments below. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you like what we're talking about, please hit the subscribe button as well. I'll see you in the next video. Janet. So, did you enjoy the video?
Yeah, I loved the video. I'm really excited to learn Japanese.
Well, I could teach you Japanese if you like.
No, I'd rather go to Japanese language school.
Oh,